Okay, thanks everyone for coming to the third British Information Modelling event here at KPF. I'm Martin Coyne. I work here as the BIM manager at KPF. This evening is very much about innovation and kind of looking at different parties, how they innovate, how they're changing the AEC, how we work. This is kind of the quote from me that the guys tweeted out about the event. I thought it was quite funny that every event you go to, it's always about collaboration, collaboration and communication. But it's often that communication that lets us down, and it's people like 3D Repo and a lot of the speakers here this evening that are helping us get over that barrier. We've all got great aspirations, great intentions, but it just always seems as an industry, there's always that slight hurdle that trips us up. So why do we innovate? There's many reasons. One is kind of the base reason is just to survive. A lot of the time it's to save money. A lot of the time it's actually to communicate. Things like the telephone, things like email have all been about making communication easier. It doesn't necessarily help us survive. There's probably some aspect of that there, but it's all part of the kind of, it's a driver of innovation. It's that kind of a need to communicate with each other more clearly that's kind of helped push things on. A lot of the time, especially in this industry, it's to improve efficiency. We know there's a way to do things better. We kind of push ourselves on that one step further. But typically, it's a balance of those. But kind of like I say, there's typically one key driver. And I find a lot in this industry, it's that communication that really pushes us on. So yeah, hopefully kind of the way we work should be more efficient. Hopefully kind of working more efficiently brings financial savings, and in turn that'll bring survival, hopefully, for kind of most people in the industry. But generally, at the heart of innovation, especially in any industry, there's that spark. There's some problem that people realise that kind of said, look, we need to improve this. How can we move on? So a large part of our industry is focused on kind of communicating design, communicating how to build something, how to kind of maintain something. And 3D modeling and BIM kind of, it's just a natural evolution. It's that next step of innovation. To many people outside the industry, this is two lines. In our industry, it could well be a wall or a pipe. It's kind of, you don't realize it, but we're all bilingual. We speak a visual language. And there's that kind of slight disconnect between sort of kind of, we strive to communicate things as easily as possible, but we pass everything through a visual language first. So kind of the rise of BIM's really seen us starting to talk in the language of buildings. We build walls, we kind of place roofs and stairs. They're not just a kind of a representation anymore. It'd be interesting to see how many people, I think kind of quite a few people read plans, but it'd be interesting if you kind of showed that diagram out of context, how many people would say, yeah, that's a door. And sort of, I think there is this need for communication, but I wonder if sometimes, I wouldn't say we're slightly too good, but maybe slightly too enthusiastic, that sort of as a BIM manager, I get many an EIR or a fellow consultant's execution plan on my desk. And I must admit, even as kind of the person responsible for kind of reading these documents, it's very hard to read through and make sense of a document that's 100 pages long. And a lot of it tends to be replicated from other sources, kind of huge chunks of 1192, kind of copied and pasted. So it's kind of getting that balance right. The other aspect is so kind of KPF may be more known for sort of our tall buildings work. But if you've got a building that's sort of kind of a 50, 60, 100 stories, and you make some changes somewhere in there, how do you communicate that? How do you make sure people are aware of how the design is progressing, where the problems and the issues are? And that's where guys like 3D Repo really come in. They're kind of are very easy to kind of interact with, kind of bold graphics, kind of, here's the issue. It really helps you kind of communicate and just kind of, like I say, kind of get over that hurdle of kind of that miscommunication can introduce. So kind of, that's a lot of what we do at KPF. There's sort of a few of us here on the technical side that really try to push things forward and try and look at that, again, breaking down that communication gap. It's kind of using Excel, a tool that pretty much anyone in the office can use. We use a lot of Revit, we use Grasshopper, we use Rhino. And some people are almost scared to interact with them. But if you kind of put a familiar interface in front of with them, people are quite happy to jump in. So we can use sort of Excel to drive some of or facade work, and then kind of replicate that on a bigger scale. So someone that's never even touched they might not even be able to tell you what BIM stands for, can help drive modeling. And it might not be that this just kind of communicates with the teams internally, but again, that kind of provision of too much data. If the facade consultants want to see the basic set out of a facade, they maybe don't want a 1 gigabyte Revit model that's kind of got every bit of detail. Perhaps Excel would do the job. And so just kind of, and looking at things like other aspects of innovation in the industry, using things like the HoloLens, VR, AR, to kind of communicate a point that perhaps even like 5-6 years ago would have used a drawing to do, to actually put people in that space. Again, it's communication that's driving innovation. And this kind of thing, this is a lighting solution we were working on for a client, and just being able to kind of show them the impact you can have just by making slight changes. Again, it's that communication. It's showing them the variables, what happens. And this kind of diagram, this building's about 800 meters long, but how can you show the key deflection points in the roof? How can you show where the issues are going to be? Again, like I say, it's just another way of communicating. Hopefully it looks quite cool as well.